In today's show, we're going to look at creatures you do not want to block or else. I was a little fast on that sound effect there. We're going to start off the show with Phyrexian Obliterator. Probably the single card you probably don't want to block, period. Black, 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 black for a 5/5 horror, trample. Whenever a source deals damage to Phyrexian Obliterator, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents. Without a doubt, Toads probably feels the wrath of Phyrexian Obliterator all the time. Hence why I suggested this 5/5 creature. There was a time nothing could really block this, or nothing really dealt with this card. Like the most popular removal spells were like what? Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Lightning Bolt. And there was, we have more removal these days. We got Solitude. We have Fatal Push. That was a big one. Back then, it was hard to deal with that Phyrexian Obliterator. Okay, I got one, and my card is the Saprison Heir. It's a 2-mana 1/1 Merfolk. Whenever Saprison Heir becomes blocked, you may draw 3 cards. That's value. That's incredible. Anyone want to draw me some cards, please? Please. Can anyone block with your 0/7 wall? I'll make you a deal. Make you an offer you can't refuse. You draw me cards, I protect you. That's how it works. I just need someone to have a wall at the table. It's a Merfolk too. That's right. It's a Merfolk. Pretty cool. Okay, next up, let's take a look at what we got. We're getting some of the obvious ones that we got. Anzrag, the Quake Mole. This is the 4-mana 8/4, and when it becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there is an additional combat phase. You would be a fool to block an 8/4 creature. And then for 7 mana, it must be blocked each combat this turn if able. I'm sorry. Did I give you a choice? You actually had nothing. No choice but to lose. Does a Master of Cruelty make this list? I'm working, so I didn't catch the title. No, it's got to be because what? It's when if it isn't blocked. These are creatures. If you block, you will regret. Okay, you will regret. That's the theme of the show. Do you regret blocking the Master of Cruelty? Never. Okay, the Tolarian Entrancer. This is a 2-mana 1/1. Whenever the Tolarian Entrancer is blocked by any creature, you get to gain control of that creature at end of combat. You yoink it. You swipe it for yourself. This is a very interesting card. Also, reserved list. Don't make these cards anymore. This plus Allure effect plus indestructibility. Before you know it, you're going to control all the creatures on the battlefield. It's thanks to Tolarian Entrancer that they make so many cards where like, if you stole my stuff, I get my stuff back. The anti-swiping stealing metagame is on afoot. Happy New Year, everyone. It's 009 over there. Well, yeah, Happy New Year to the people in the future. I live in the past. I live in the past enough, at least. Okay, we got Steve Cooper with Cybermen Patrol. The Cybermen. It's like the internet. I can't believe I'm looking at this picture. This is a real Magic the Gathering card. It honestly, you know what it looks like? It looks like someone from Star Wars, and this is a lightsaber. I understand this is some sort of blaster, but it looks like a lightsaber from this perspective. 2 mana for a 2/2 Cyberman. Artifact creatures you control have Afflict 3. Oh, yeah. That is so weird. Whenever a creature with Afflict 3 becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. That's an Hour of Devastation mechanic. Put on a Spaceman, or I should say a Cyberman. They live in the internet, not in space. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Indiana Jones with Cockatrice. 5 mana 2/4. It's actually a Cockatrice. It does not have the creature type bird. Is this not a bird? Do I just not know what poultry is anymore? Okay, it's a 5 mana 2/4 Cockatrice flying. When Cockatrice blocks or becomes blocked by a non-will creature, destroy that creature at end of combat. End of combat, you are a goner. Wait a minute, that's just Death Touch, right? This is literally just Death Touch for non-wall. It sounds, yeah, it sounds funnier than it is. This is not really a fancy mechanic. So, okay, a cockatrice is a mythical creature that likes a that's like a basilisk. I guess it's a flying basilisk, isn't it? Islarf with Massacre Girl. The known killer. She's on the run. 4 mana for a 4/4 human assassin. Menace. And then creatures you control have Wither. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. So, like, okay, so the idea is that if the creature dies, we actually cash in on them. If the toughness was less than what they deal damage to. Oh, I see. No, creatures you control have Wither. They deal. Oh no, yeah, they deal damage to creatures in the form of +1/+1 counters. You block my stuff and die, I get value. All right, I'm at least exchanging my creatures for money on the black market. You know, the only the flavor to this is I harvested their organs. Someone needs it out there. Next up, Chen with Catacomb Dragon. You like dragons, Chen? 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer, and when it's blocked by a non-artifact, non-dragon creature, that creature's power is halved, rounded up until end of turn. So you have to super, how many? By any number. So basically you have to super gang block this card or not block it at all. We did this one Termus. And by the way, we do have a bingo card. We already did this. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I can't read cards. That's value. Half hour wait for homies. No, that did not happen today. Buzz before looking. Okay, do you know what? I get this. Sounds like it didn't happen. So that also looks like some of these bingo squares aren't gonna apply to today either. What do we got next? We got Marcio with the Provocateur. Petulita something? Provocateur. Oh no, so Provocateur? It doesn't exist. I think you have the name in a different language because it doesn't exist in English. Okay, so then we're gonna go to Bryce. Can we count Bearer of Heavens? Well, let's see. Bearer of Heavens. When it dies, no, that doesn't count. It does not count. Sorry about that. Mean Brule. Neath of the Dire Hunt. So generally speaking, I guess the test is like if I block with a 1/1, like, is it to my disadvantage? And you can chump block that thing, so it didn't matter. Neath of the Dire Hunt is a 4 mana 3/3 human warrior. Whenever one or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, we get to draw a card. Oh wow, that's insane. And we don't need Wither this time around. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, double target creature's power until end of turn. And that creature must be blocked this combat if able. So we're cashing in over here, people. All right, Coffee Crew, we're cashing in. Next up. Okay, we got Antisocial Contract with the Golden Glow Moth is the GOAT in this category. The Golden Glow Moth. So white 0/1 with flying, and whenever Golden Glow Moth blocks, you may gain 4 life. Disqualified. It's when this card blocks, but not what blocks this card. So hold on, is there something here? Rules. I don't know this card. Search, not a real card. Chat is wrong. No, we got nothing here. Not that I can see. Nikachu is in Canada and has terrible French skills. How can you understand Portuguese? Exactly. Nickel Bolt. Well, which one? Not the original one, right? That one is the OG. Whenever it deals damage to an opponent, yeah, that one's disqualified as well. Come on, people. Let's get our head back together here. We need our head. Okay, Hexnort, save the show. Screaming Nemesis. You can block it once, you get an emblem. 3 mana for a 3/3 haste. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. And if a player is dealt damage this way, they can't gain life for the rest of the game. Thank God. We're back on track, fellas. Sorry, got the name in Portuguese. It's Brash. Oh, is that what Brash Taunter is called? Brash Taunter. Brash Taunter, 5 mana, 1/1 indestructible. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. And then for 3 mana, tap Brash Taunter fights another target creature. So it looks like, well, yeah, so if you block it, you lose. But if you don't block it, you lose, because it's going to pick a fight with you anyway. What a jerk. Next up, Banovsky is a Turn Timber Basilisk. Turn Timber Basilisk. And if a land entered, you don't even get to say anything. So 3 mana, 2/1. It's got Death Touch. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target creature block Turn Timber Basilisk this turn if able. You will block my Basilisk. 3 mana Doomblade. Which is not even a Doomblade at that point. Nadim, evening, Nikachu. Nowhere to be for New Year's Eve too, huh? Well, it's 3 p.m. for me right now. Isling Leprechaun. Remember, we do the show at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. For one of the weirder effects, we have Ailing. Okay, I'm just going to look up Leprechaun. Lepra. Because I don't think there's many leprechauns in this game. Oh, no, you spelled it right. Okay, it's a green 1/1. Whenever Ailing Leprechaun blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, that creature becomes green. To be honest, I don't know how this actually, like, hurts the opponent. I guess some creatures don't want to become green. Maybe. But not really. OG Nicol Bolas makes opponent discard hand if he damages player. Yeah, but you want to block that. So the show is, well, you have the OG. Yeah, I clicked on the OG. Makes opponent discard hand if he damages player. The show is about you do not want to block these creatures. Or else. If you block the creature, something bad happens. If we block Nicol Bolas, nothing happens. So that's why it got disqualified. Christopher B with Flameheart Werewolf. 2 mana, 2/1. When it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, a Kessig Forge Master deals 1 damage to that creature. That's pretty pathetic. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform the Kessig Forge Master into the Flameheart Werewolf. Now when it gets blocked or becomes blocked by a creature, deals 2 damage to that creature. It's like not exactly double. It's like half strike almost. It's like half double strike. At the beginning of each upkeep, if that player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Flameheart Werewolf. Oh no, it's like 1.5 strike. That's how I could look at it. At least the first half. This is 1.5 strike. This is 3.2 strike. I guess. I suppose so. Another show where people have a hard time understanding the topic of the show. Do not block these MTG creatures or else. I don't think the topic is all that complicated. This is an easy topic. Yeah, it says not. I capitalized everything. You know, I'm doing my best here to make it as clear as possible. There's no tricks. And I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you, Coffee Crew. Timon with Junk Diver. Only has 1 life, so it dies if you block it. 3 mana for a 1/1 flyer. When Junk Diver dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. I can get behind that one. You know what? I can get behind Junk Diver. Like it. It's very unlikely to survive in combat. Unless there's a 0/1 flyer somewhere in the world. Bulky with Quagmire Lamprey. Cost appropriate for such a good effect. The 3 mana 1/1 fish. This is a fish. It looks like coming out of Nightmare Lake. Whenever Quagmire Lamprey becomes blocked by a creature, put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. Not a lot of people, they don't like becoming -1/-1 around here. Qualified says, somebody brought up Ansreg, the Quake Mole yet? Yeah, you're like the third one. Okay, I thought it was going to be Phyrexian Obliterator. We have another Phyrexian. The Phyrexian Obliterator count is at 2. The Ansreg count is at 3. Lessian, the Wretched. The Wretched is a 5-mana 2/5 demon. At end of combat, gain control of all creatures, blocking the Wretched as long as you control the Wretched. Oh, by the way, chat was wrong about the show. The show is easy. The title was very, very. I think it's very, very self-explanatory, and 90% of the audience understands the show. Well, what is this thing to do? Gain control of all creatures. Oh my goodness! All of them. All we need to do is put a lure on this card, and it's game over. It's game over for their creatures. Okay, let's get Termus here with Abomination. Abomination. Oh God. Ugh. It's this disgusting card. Okay, it's 5 mana for a it's an abomination. It's actually a horror. So it's 2/6. At end of combat, destroy all green and white creatures blocking or blocked by abomination. This is a funny card because it doesn't affect everybody. It doesn't affect black, blue, or red. So you, by all means, if you're a blue or black or red mage, block at will. But if you are a white or green mage, you will absolutely regret. Okay, cool suggestion. Also disgusting art. Qualified is like, what about Giggling Skitter Spike? Giggling Skitter Spike. Sounds like an uncard. It's a real card. Baby Doll Head. Warning, Baby Doll Head. 4 mana for a 1/1 toy. With Indestructible. When it attacks or blocks or becomes the target of a spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So it's not just getting blocked. If you do anything to this card, it's screwed. Oh, no, hold on. So when it attacks, it deals damage. When it gets blocked and when it's targeted, wow, it gets a lot. And it also has Monstrosity 5. It's gonna get hard. It's gonna get worse and worse as time goes on. Next up, we need... Old MTG was so good. I don't know if I could go back to old MTG. It can't be that old. That's too old for me. You know, I could probably live in a world pre-2010, but I couldn't go back to like pre-1998. It's too far gone for me. This looks like one of Sid's toys from Toy Story. Could have been. They might have ripped it straight off. Wizards of the Coast, you know, they don't have a lot of creativity anymore. Everything is just a parody at this point. People complaining about Universes Beyond. This is absolutely a straight rip from Toy Story. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Okay, next up. Let's get Justin with Azusa's Many Journeys. I didn't know Azusa had any journeys. 2 mana for... You can't block this thing. It's a creature. I'm sorry, it's not a creature. Or is there a creature on the other side? Oh, there's a creature on the other side. Okay, sorry. Well, this is... I'm wrong. Is there a thing where I'm wrong on the bingo card? I disqualified too early. Anyway, well, okay, we're gonna have to look later. Okay, Likeness of the Seeker, I'm assuming flips at chapter 3. Yeah, Exile. I'm not gonna read the first half. We have a 3/3 human monk. When it becomes block, untap up to 3 lands you control. That's ramp. Sort of. You have to divide it. Best use the mana, untap the mana, then use it again. Next up, let's take a look at... There is a bingo for you being wrong, is there? Nikachu is wrong. Nikachu finds wrong card. Okay, I did that at least once today. Sort of by mistake. What we did, I did a few buzz. Oh, I don't know if I did buzz before looking. Okay, we'll move on. Chat saves or corrects Nikachu. Can't read cards. Okay, I don't see the part. Nobody blocks a dwarf. Well, this is not a dwarf. Okay, Marcio wants to get the other one with the Vindicate. Oh, sorry, Phyrexian Vindicator. 4 mana for a 5/5. If damage would be dealt to Phyrexian Vindicator, prevent that damage. And when damage is prevented, this way Phyrexian Vindicator deals that much damage to any other target. We got Matt with Stuffy Doll. Does Stuffy Doll ever go in for the attack, though? It's a 5 mana 0/1 with Indestructible. Whenever it's the battlefield, you choose a player. Whenever it's dealt damage, you'll deal that much damage to the chosen player. But I don't know who's doing that. Why? It might as well say Defender. Whatever. I guess it can attack for 0. Karen with our super chat of the day. The Taunting Elf. Don't want all your blockers on it. Taunting Elf. We have a green 0/1. All creatures able to block Taunting Elf do so. Okay, I'll allow it. Because if this thing attacks and everyone has to block this thing, that means everything else went through. You're not really giving your opponent a whole lot of choice in this decision. The Alley Grifters. Are they selling me what are those things called? NFTs? You have any of those NFTs here? Okay, we have a 3 mana 2/2. When Alley Grifters become blocked, defending player discards a card from their hand. Maybe this is not the grifter that I was thinking of at the same time. This is a different type of grifter. They're just literally grifting from one alley to another. Do we do the why is the Leprechaun card so popular? We did the Leprechaun card. It has been done. It has been so. We did Phyrexian Negator. The count is at, I think, 3 on that one. Oh, no, Karen with another super chat. Thanks so much. The Mirror Retriever. Okay, this thing's small. So it's a 2/2. It's a 1/1 for 2 mana. And when it dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Sometimes you just need to get in for 1 damage. 1 damage at a time. The damage adds up. And if the moment you want to block, well, it's just going to get value out of you. Benjamin with Vindictive Lich. Still, I can't remember. I know you guys have tried to help me so many times, but I can never remember what this is. It's a 4 mana 4/1 zombie wizard, and when it dies, choose 1 or more. And each mode must target a different player. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. Target opponent discards 2 cards, or target opponent loses 5 life. Interesting card, because in 1-on-1 it's pretty stone cold useless. I can only choose 1. That's it. Oh, does this get disqualified? How does this get disqualified? When it dies, choose 1 or more. Each mode. It's like very small, so it's very hard. I'm gonna count 1 toughness creatures when they die, because it's very hard for them to be alive. Toilet Duck has no card. Vraska, the Silencer. Whenever an opponent blocks, the blocking creature dies, and you may pay 1 to get a treasure. So 3 mana for a 3/3 Gorgon Assassin with Death Touch. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return that card to the battlefield tapped under your control. It's a treasure artifact. With tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. And it loses all other card types. Weird. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. Hold on. What does this have to do with blocking? If you do, return that card. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies. This actually has nothing to do... Oh, hold on. Does this other one have something to do with when it dies? Oh, no, okay. But this is not easy to die. If you block... I'm like 50. Oh, she has death. You know what? That's right. She has death touch, doesn't she? Okay, that's enough. This is getting too hard for me to make this card work in the show in the big paragraph. I forgot. Yeah, death touch. You touch the Gorgon, you be turned to death instead of being turned to stone. Okay, next up, let's get. Is there something called Creepy Doll? The brother or sister to Stuffy Doll. Creepy Doll, 5 mana for a 1/1 construct. It's also indestructible. And when it deals combat damage to a creature, flip a coin. If you win the flip, you destroy that creature. How lucky do you feel? It's 50-50. Punk. Okay, Kagan, thanks so much for your super chat. The dead white. What the hell is a white? Is it just a zombie? They're using this term very often to describe... Oh, sorry, dread white. Dead, dread. All the zombies are the same. 5 mana for a 3/4 zombie. At end of combat, put a paralyzation counter on all creatures blocking or blocked by the dread white and tap those creatures. They gain. If this creature has a paralyzation counter on it, it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. And pay 4. Remove a paralyzation counter from this creature. Paralyzation. They made that up in Ice Age. Unbelievable. White is the opposite of weft. Maybe in Bugs Bunny world. I feel like Stuffy Doll got nerfed with that Creepy Doll. Possible. 4 times Phyrexian Obliterator has been chosen. 4 times. The count is at 4. Arrow. With Evil Eye of Urborg? Oh, there's an Evil Eye of Urborg. Probably in relation to the Evil Eye of Sauron. This is a 5 mana 6/3. Non-eye creatures you control, they can't even attack. And when Evil Eye of Urborg becomes blocked by a creature, we're blowing it up. Destroy it. To the graveyard you go. We did Phyrexian Vindicator. Man, the easy ones, they're just done. They're snapped up real quickly. Marcio, 2/2 imp tokens created by Judith Carnage Connoisseur. Judith Carnage. She loves the carnage, doesn't she? This is a 5 mana 3/4 human shaman. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one. That spell gains death touch and lifelink. Create a 2/2 red imp creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. That's strong. No, so whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, that spell gains death touch and lifelink. Create a 2/2 imp. Oh, I see. So you want to say this, okay, this card counts because when we cast the instant or sorcery spell, we're making, it's like a super prowess thing. We're making 2/2s that when they block and die, it's possible they get chump blocked, but you super chatted, so I'm gonna let this one go. You got no cards, Magical Maniac. Did I disqualify your last one? Thresher Beast. 5 mana for a 4/4 beast. And when it becomes blocked, the defending player sacrifices a land. Not my lands. No. No one's going to let that... Basically, you know what? I think in a game of Commander, this card is completely unblockable. You're not reading it, but based on the mentality and behavior of Commander players, completely unblockable. No one's blocking this thing for their life. Even if they're at 3 life, they would let it through. That's how important it is to hold on to your lands in Commander. Just a random mage. Shalob, the child of Ungoliant. It's a 6 mana 8/8 spider demon with death touch and ward 2. But other spiders you control have death touch and wards 2. And whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food artifact with pay 2. Tap, sacrifice this artifact to gain 3 life, and it loses all other card types. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Our market research shows that players like really long card names. I am not looking that card up. Some 1/2/4C with the Elven Warhounds. 4 mana for a 2/2. Dog. It is officially a dog card. If Elven Warhounds is blocked by any creature, put that creature on top of its owner's library. Block by any creature. Oh, we just bouncing it. Bounce on top of deck. Next super chat coming from Kagan. Thank you so much. With the OG Chromium. once upon a time. Ooh, it's got Rampage too. But it better have it for 8 mana. It's a 7/7 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Chromium unless you pay 3 mana. So what's Rampage? I believe if it blocks or becomes blocked, it gets bigger. I think that's the whole. That's its shtick. I don't play with Rampage cards. They could probably bring it back. I think the problem with Rampage is they made it too exclusive for incredibly expensive creatures. And at that point, we don't even need it anymore. 712RC, I got a lot of sound effects. Where are you? You haven't been here for a while. Blocked by 2 or more? Oh, if it's blocked by 2 or more, it gets Rampage? No. Really? That's wild. Dingleberg, are you lying? You had no card yet? Hungering Hydra. A green X for a 0/0 Hydra enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it. The Hungering Hydra can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Well, now it's like hard to block this card. Whenever Hungering Hydra is dealt damage, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Oh, so it's like, it's a weird card. It's designed so that it's not easy to block, and then if you do block it, you only make it stronger. It's almost like they gave it menace to balance the card out. Otherwise, it might get too big too fast. Benovsky with Harvester of Souls. I spelled this wrong. Harvester, we need the souls. There's a lot of harvesters in this game. There we go. I found it. 6 mana for a 5/5 demon with Death Touch. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you also may draw a card. Whenever another non-token... This is great! But no, and it has Death Touch. Very likely, between hand-to-hand combat with a Harvester of Souls, you're going to lose. Hopefully not your soul, though. But then it'd be pretty bad at its job now, wouldn't it? All right, we're going to take a look at more Magic the Gathering creatures you do not want to block. They danger, okay? They danger. And I'll tell you where you can get them from. You can get them from FusionGamingOnline.com. My favorite place to buy my Magic the Gathering cards. Is Innistrad Remastered coming out? Is that a real set? I didn't hear about it until now. And don't forget, in Canada here, we have something called Boxing Week. It used to be called Boxing Day. It's basically the... Do you have time for this? I think this is expired now. Okay, forget that. Boxing Week is over. But I'll tell you what's not over. My coupon code. My coupon code Nikachu. That you can use to get 5% off all your orders, where you buy singles or sealed product. Buy your stuff at FusionGamingOnline.com and to support the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Get all your MTG creatures. Get your... I can't think of one tournament competitive card we've named today. Obliterator, I guess. Some Phyrexian Obliterator formats. Okay, you can rent cards on Magic Online through Mana Traders to play any deck, any format you would like at any time, including Commander, One-on-One Commander, Modern, Pioneer, Standard, Legacy, and more. You can support the channel. Use my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cash back on your 3rd month when you use coupon code Nikachu_4KA. Sweet. Okay, we need cards. We need cards, people. There's someone... Jesus! You want Rona Brawled on the show. The Invasion. It's a 2-mana 1/3. And if you cast a legendary spell, untap your Rona. Tap, draw a card, and discard a card. But we can also transform her now, can we? Into the Tolarian Obliterator. Oh my goodness! Phyrexian Wizard, Trample, 5/5. Whenever a source deals damage to Rona, Tolarian Obliterator, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield under your control. Otherwise, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. That sounds like absolute value. I wonder if this is... I don't know where Phyrexian Obliterator came in and the timeline of Magic the Gathering, but I wonder if did this human, did Rona become this, and then into the Phyrexian Obliterator. Went down that Phyrexian Obliterator chain, that web. The tunnel, the funnel. Okay, next up. Yeah, another remaster. I can't remember. Someone predicted this. Like, in the future, Wizards is just going to remaster all the old sets. You missed the sus coupon codes? Well, it's all random. It's all random. Okay, we did Ansrag. That's the 4th or 5th time. Oh man, this has been mentioned so many times now. Okay, I told the doc with Spiteful Squad. Jay Thompson gonna try anyway. Okay, we have a 4-mana 0/0 human warlock, Death Touch. Spiteful Squad enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. And when Spiteful Squad dies, put its counters on target creature you control. I like it. So no matter what, your creature's going down. But if I go down, I get value out of it anyway. You know what? It's like the human version of... What's that affinity mechanic where you can move the creatures around when it dies? Modular. It's human modular. That's exactly what we need. We need modular on other cards. So frustrating. B1 with Boros Reckoner. Oh! What an absolute banger idea. 3 mana for a 3/3, and when it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. But guess what? Yeah, this was a weird thing. For 1 mana, you can give it first strike, but if you give it first strike, that's just going to kill the creature. If you just kill the creature, you don't get to deal damage to anything. It's not going to work that way. Okay, again with the Chub Toad. Really? For Fat Frog. Chub Toad. It's big! Okay, 3 mana for a 1/1. When it's blocked or becomes blocked, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Isn't that like Rampage? Okay, so it's like a puffer fish. It gets bigger when it feels threatened. But I don't know if the puffer fish actually does anything. Puffer fish is... Yeah, I have no idea if the puffer fish does anything. Its defense mechanism is when it dies and is eaten, you're going down with it. Evan with the Grasping Giant. Grasping Giant is a 6-mana 5/7 giant with Vigilance. Whenever Grasping Giant becomes blocked by a creature, exile that creature until Grasping Giant leaves the battlefield. It's like 100-handed one, except it's all Oblivion Rings, essentially. All these hands are Oblivion Rings. They're gonna hold on to you. Oh, that's the flavor. See? They grab you, take you for himself. But only so many hands though. Zai Curran with Tika's Dragon. Great card, needs more love. You're a dragon fan, aren't you? Oh my god. Does it deserve more love? The 9-mana 5/5 flyer with Trample and Rampage 4. Tika's Dragon counts as a dragon. Oh, wouldn't you know? I love the old cards that remind you what the actual card creature type or the creature type is on the card. We got Liss with has Corrosive Ooze. No, we did not do Corrosive Ooze. 2 mana for a 2/2. When it blocks or becomes blocked by an equipped creature, destroy equipment attached to that creature at end of combat. This is a very, very narrow, very selective. It's a very so let's just say this is a very niche card for this show. Frankly, I think you'd have to be stupid to have an equipped creature and attack into the player with a Corrosive Ooze. Absolutely insane. Vic the Foxy Gamer with Predatory Ooze. Ooh, the oozes are coming. Predatory... Predator Ooze. 3 mana for a 1/1 Ooze. It's also indestructible. Whenever this creature attacks, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. But whenever a creature dealt damage by this creature this turn dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Because it gets bigger. It eats you. You become part of the blob. This is the blob, folks. Roy says, well, not actual creature type. If it loses abilities, it stops being a dragon. Oh, interesting. Mikey J showing up for the show. Knight of the Ebon Legion. We usually don't see you in these parts, Mikey J. We have a black 1/2 Vampire Knight for 3 mana. It can get +3/+3 and gain Death Touch until end of turn. But at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 more life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on your Knight of Ebon Legion. We did Brash Tantra already, Luca. We've done that one. We also done Phyrexian Obliterator. The count is at 5. We just did Predatory Ooze. Okay, hold on. I gotta... one of these has to qualify. We've done it already. We already did this. Oh no, we didn't do this one. This is not really a good daily bingo card. Not a real card. Steve Cooper, Nikachu doesn't get this card. Okay, we're gonna use this one as like we've already done this thing. All suggestions rejected 2+. Oh, we've definitely hit that as well. What else? Minovsky with Apex Altasaur, because big boy. 9 mana for a 10/10. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. And probably get kicked out of school for it too. Enrage, when Apex Altasaur is dealt damage, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Holy crap! Do not pick any fights with this damn thing. It's like if you throw a paper airplane at this Apex Altasaur, it's gonna meet you out in the parking lot. All right, next up. Corbinic has no card yet. Skewer Slinger. 2 mana for a 1/3 Dwarf Knight. Reach. Whenever Skewer Slinger blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, Skewer Slinger deals 1 damage to that creature. Yeah, you know what? It's really funny. Just give it 2 power, right? It's as simple as that. When it blocks or becomes blocked, Skewer Slinger deals 1 damage to that creature. What's the difference between this and the 1/3? It's like it's a strictly worse 2/3. That's all it is. It's a strictly worse 2/3 creature. Funny enough. Nightmare Incarnation with Valgavoth. The Terror Reader. There it is. 9 mana for a 9/9 Elder Demon, flying in lifelink. Ward, sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. Now, if a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you get to exile it. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. I don't understand how this is. Do not block these MTG creatures. If I block it, that's it. Like, what's the big deal? They gain 9 life? Disqualified. Very, very disqualified. Steve Cooper with Bill Fernie, Bree Swindler, and also donate for the bingo. Is there a donate for bingo card? Search. Steve Cooper donates? Oh, well, that one didn't count anyway. Because you donated a long time ago, didn't you? I think you donated. Okay, hold on. What we're looking at, Bree? Which Bree? A lot of Brees here. Bree Fernie? Oh, this one. Okay, we have a 2 mana 2/1. When Bill Fernie Bree Swindler becomes blocked, choose one. You can create a treasure token. See, when you block Bill, old Billy over here, we're gonna get a little something. We're either gonna get a treasure token or target opponent gains control of target horse you control. If they do, remove Bill Fernie from combat and create 3 treasure tokens. Can we give them a crone horse? Does that count as a horse or a construct? It's a horse. We can give them the crone horse. That's funny. I find this very, very, very amusing. Bingo alert, you heard the music? We did hear the music, didn't we? Thank you very much, Toilet Duck. This is a hard bingo card. Who invented this? This is very hard for like a daily show. Okay, we have a donation now. Who didn't get anything? Did anyone get a card? Guess we'll give an extra one. I don't know if Justin got a card. Lockolith Titan. Spelled it wrong. Is this it? Lockolith Titan. 7 mana for a 6/6. And when it becomes blocked, you may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature. And if you do, Lockolith Titan deals no combat damage this turn. Well, I mean, it dealt some sort of damage. Equal to... Okay, like, that is such a weird wording. So it's like, if it becomes blocked, I can deal 6 damage to whatever the hell I want. Really strange. It's just exchanging the blocking. It might block me, but my fist can reach over into anybody else. Okay, next up, we've got Zrillium. Nikachu, tell my wife hi, please. Arena Rector. Hello, Zrillium's wife. Have a happy new, very happy new year. Arena Rector. Oh yeah, this card. Happy New Year, Arena Rector. This is a 4 mana 1/2. And when it dies, you may exile it. And if you do, search your library for a Planeswalker card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. If it's 3 toughness or higher, it's definitely not going to... I won't count these death triggers. But at 2 toughness, it's a little bit more salvageable. Richard loves modular. Okay, who doesn't have... Anyone not have a card? Copyright might not have a card. Thicket. We did Thicket Basilisk. We did that one. How would Hexenort once engulfing Slagworm? 7 mana for a 7/7 worm, and when it blocks, it becomes blocked by a creature. Destroy it! Blow it up! You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. That's all. Well, it becomes blocked or becomes blocked. So this is the old Death Touch, but we gain some life out of it too. So it's like Death Touch and Lifelink, except it doesn't have either of those abilities, essentially. Oh! Permeating Mass from Old Boy. You know, I was just thinking about this card. I sort of want to play this in Pioneer to destroy the Prowess decks. It's a green 1/3, and when it deals damage to a creature, that creature becomes a copy of Permeating Mass. I think this card is so cool. So basically, it turns creatures into crap, and then it's just a bunch of 1/3s on the battlefield. Very, very unique, neat card. Okay, Pabno. Slight stretch, but the classic, the Rocks. This was in a commercial once. 6 mana for a 5/5. You may have Rocks deal its combat damage to defending player as though it weren't blocked. No, I think, you know what? I think we can count this. Yeah. Also has Regenerate. So basically, it's just that if you block it, you're an idiot. Because I can deal my damage to you anyway. Blocking was completely pointless. The BMF, the Big Furry Monster. Only Super Chatters can recommend uncards and silver border cards. Okay, Toilet Duck's trying hard to get something. Mari of the Killing Quill. Mari of... Has when creature dies ability. Mari... Oh, sorry, it's just Mari, the Killing Quill. Also gives itself Death Touch. That's fine. Creature type, including itself, has Death Touch. 3 mana for a 3/2 Vampire Assassin. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, exile it with a hit counter on it. There's a hitman after you. Assassins, mercenaries, and rogues you control have Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a hit counter from a card that player owns in exile. If you do, you draw a card, and you create 2 treasure tokens. It's a lot of value, actually, from a hitman. Well, you know, it makes sense. It pays to be a hitman. Who else do we have here? Mean Brulee! Storm Surge Kraken. 5 mana for a 5/5 Kraken with Hexproof. It's got Lieutenant! It's got Lieutenant Dan. As long as you control your commander, Storm Surge Kraken gets +2/+2 and has whenever Storm Surge Kraken becomes blocked, you may draw 2 cards. Oh my, I love it! I love that Lieutenant Dan ability. Okay, Benovsky. What is this? I dare you to block an Indoraptor. What is an Indoraptor? The perfect hybrid. Oh, this is just the dinosaur. Can open doors. Will flush the toilets when it's done. 3 mana for a 3/1 dinosaur mutant, Bloodthirst X. This creature enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the damage dealt to your opponents this turn. It's got Menace. It also has Enrage. When the perfect hybrid is dealt damage, choose an opponent at random and it deals damage equal to its power to that player unless they sacrifice a non-token creature. I didn't know they were mutants. What's going on here? In Jurassic Park, I thought they were just regular Jurassic Park. Oh, maybe I don't know the full lore of Jurassic Park. Honestly, I've seen 1, 2, and 3, but I haven't seen anything beyond that. Maybe they started doing some weird gene mutation. They're like, it was a big mistake to bring these dinosaurs into the world, but you know what? We can fix them. We can make them better, bigger, and stronger. Old boy says, New Year is in just a bit over an hour here, so I'll leave already. Have a nice New Year's, everyone. Have a nice New Year's, old boy. What do we have here? Okay, I believe those are genetic designed, not mutants. Well, I mean, I guess in the Magic the Gathering world, if you've genetically altered anything, it is a mutant. That's not real. It's not natural. Okay, Rest in Serpentine. Jurassic World and Jurassic World 2 featured hybrid dinosaurs. See, there we go. I didn't know the lore that deeply. I mean, honestly, after I watched, I think it was Jurassic Park 3, or was that Jurassic World? Anyway, there's like the 3rd movie. I was like, okay, this series sucks. I'm not watching these anymore. And it did not gain my trust since. Kano, Goblin, Swine Rider. So they're riding a pig? They are riding a pig. It's a red 1/1, and when it's blocked, it deals 2 damage to each attacking creature and 2 damage to each blocking creature. Be careful! You do not underestimate hogs. Those wild hogs. They're dangerous, and they can become lunch. Benovsky, Indiana Jones, Z, BFM. Oh, hold on. Can I find this with BFM? I can. I guess we have to see both sides of the card. Black. It's a lot of black. For $99.99, you have to play both BFM cards to put Leaves Play Sacrifice the other. Oh, sorry. It goes, you must play both BFM cards to put BFM into play. If either BFM card Leaves Play Sack the other, BFM can be blocked by only 3 or more creatures. Disqualified, actually. It can be blocked only by 3 or more creatures. There's nothing punishing about blocking this. I mean, I guess there is a bit of a punishment. So you can't chump block with 1. You have to sacrifice 3. Okay, maybe. Feels very loose. Very, very loose for this show. Supremely loose. Indiana Jones is like, I remember getting one of these in a pack. Copyright. Academy Rector or Mind Slicer? We did the Rector, but we didn't do the Mind Slicer. Mind Slicer is a 4-mana 4/3, and when it dies, each player discards their hand. Okay, this one I'm not going to count because it's a bit too big. It's too easy to chump block, and then nothing happens. So there's no guarantee that it actually dies. Next up. Bojack Yellow. Has Questing Beast been done? Questing Beast. It actually has not. Although I saw it a few times in the chat. But I don't remember. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Oh, so I guess like anything that blocks it is likely to die. Because this thing has Vigilance and Death Touch and Haste. And combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. So protection from green, go to hell. And of course, when it deals combat damage to an opponent, you can deal that much damage to a player or planeswalker instead. No, sorry. In addition. Arrow with Polyraptor. That's a good one. Right? 8 mana for a 5/5, and it's got Enrage. Very, very angry. When it's dealt damage, you create a token that's a copy of Polyraptor. This is a fantastic suggestion. Some 1/2/4C with a Basalt Golem. I've never seen this card before, which means that's a bingo card. I don't know what this does. I don't know what this card is. Never seen it. 5 mana for a 2/4. Can't be blocked by artifact creatures. And whenever it's blocked by any creature, bury that creature at end of combat and put a stone token into play under the controller of the creature's controller. Treat this token as a 0/2 artifact creature that counts as a wall. What's the 0/2 artifact token? Is that literally like a tombstone? I think it's a tombstone. And it's just it's like a small blockade, basically. Did we do both Rectors? Next up. So any Death Touch creature counts. You know what? Technically, honestly, I think that's pretty lame for the show. I should shame you for suggesting Death Touch creatures, but technically, yes. Ornithopter? No, I don't think so. Nuclear Yoshi with the Vicious Battle Rager. I think this show is cooler when you got some like really interesting, or if it's worded differently than Death Touch. Look at this gigantic paragraph that we have to explain Death Touch. 4 mana for a 1/5 Dwarf Barbarian. Enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Spiked Retribution. Whenever Vicious Battle Rager becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller loses 5 life. Basically Inflict. It's Inflict before Inflict became something. Take a look at Evil Eye of Urborg before it looks at you. We looked at that one. More hogs on the show, says Toads. Brian Hogg. Oh, is this also a suggestion by Chen? It is. Brian Hogg. I'm looking at Brian Hogg. It don't exist. This is not a real card. Right. Oh, it's Hag. Yeah, I didn't read this properly. Okay, 4 mana for a 2/2 Hag. That's the creature type. I'm not lying. It's like the basilisk. No, sorry, no, the cockatrice. I don't know what a hag is. I'd assume a hag at the very least is a human. A human hag. Okay, so 4 mana for a 2/2. On the turn during which hag is placed in the graveyard, all creatures who dealt damage to hag that turn what? Become 0/2 creatures. Use counters to mark these creatures. Okay, forget the ancient scripture. This makes no damn sense. When it dies, change the base power and toughness of all creatures that dealt damage to it to a 0/2. Okay. I thought for a second here it was trying to reference, like, if it had vigilance, it didn't get affected because it says all creatures who dealt damage that. Oh, hold on, hag that turn. Okay, sorry. I thought it talked about turn, like it got turned sideways. Nikachu can't read? You're right, I can't read. No reading here. I can't read my own damn cards. Okay, next up. Pabno has... Let's keep testing that boundary with the battering ram. Okay, 2 mana 1/1. Banding when attacking. If battering ram is blocked by any wall, destroy that wall at end of combat. I love it. Death Touch for walls. Man, there's so much anti-wall cards. Back then, walls were a big thing, I guess. Or not. What is Wizard thinking with this playtesting from Antiquities? I guess in their playtesting, they're like, walls are strong. And then outside in the real world, people are winning with Channel and Fireball and a bunch of other broken crap. Do we have a double bingo? Is there any bingos at all? There's nothing here. It's just a scattering of all over the place. Okay, Lessian wants Stalwart Spear Tail. 3 mana for a 4/4. It's got Enrage. So when it's dealt damage, other dinosaurs you control and dinosaur cards in your hand and library perpetually get +1/+1. And whenever it attacks, Stalwart Speartail deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. That's interesting. Your entire deck gets bigger and stronger. I could totally see that being a mechanic. Maybe not on paper, but I can totally see it working. Okay, Steve Cooper. Ooh, a huge donation from Steve Cooper. The Shape Stealer. Is it a shapeshifter? And also 3 donations to chat. So generous, Steve Cooper. 2 mana for a 1/1 Shapeshifter Spirit. Whenever Shape Stealer blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, change Shape Stealer's power and toughness to that creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Interesting. It's like a T1000. It touches something and it can take its form. I love this card. It's terrible, but I like it anyway. Okay, we have 3 donations. What is this? Doyle Duck is like Queen of Ice. I've seen Queen of Ice for the last 5 minutes. 3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever Queen of Ice deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Also has Rage of Winter for 2 mana. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. This was invented right before what, stun? Before stun. You Rock Basilisk? Rock Basilisk. Solid as a rock. Okay, we have a 6 mana 4/5. When it blocks or becomes blocked by a non-wall creature, destroy that creature at end of combat. I can't tell if we've done this one before, because this ability is basically the same. It feels the same as a lot of other cards. I love this card. It's terrible. I like it anyway. Me with all my commanders. It's the route of jank, you know? It's the route of jank. Okay, we got from Ferginka, Drell Notch. It's a 5 mana 3/3. When it becomes blocked, you may draw 2 cards. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, there's a little bit more. It's a Yeti mutant. There's a little bit more reason to block this card too, because the Sapra's an error. It's just a 1/1. Just let it through. Kano wants a second card with a Reef. Oh, Reef Worm. At the very least, blocking the first one sucks. When it dies. But why would anyone block this thing? But it is the show. If you block it, you're going to regret. When it dies, you get a 3/3 blue fish creature token. When this creature dies, it gets a 6/6. But when that thing dies, you get a 9/9. There's always a bigger reef. I guess that's what the Reef Worm can... This thing in the background. That's what it can aspire to be when it grows up. Ken Khan with Thresher Beast. We did this one, actually. Sorry. What about Goblin Lackey? You want to block that card. If you don't block it, you're probably screwed. Probably completely screwed. Okay, Christopher B. Let's get another one. Elven Warhounds. We did Sapra's and Air. We did, hold on, okay, we did all these. Okay, hold on. We did Elven Warhound, Sapra's and Air, Labyrinth Raptor. Labyrinth. We have not done this one. 2 mana for a 2/2 with Menace. Whenever a creature you control with Menace blocks or becomes blocked, a defending player may sack a creature blocking it. Also, for 2 mana, creatures you control get +1/+0 and Menace until end of turn. Banding on an attack is terrible. Banding to block is busted. Hey, it's all good. I think banding while attacking is fine too. Well, obviously, it's not nearly as good as blocking. Blocking is much stronger. It's a food chain reference where a worm gets eaten by a fish, which is then eaten by a bigger fish. Oh yeah, completely understand the what's it called, the reference. Almond, have we done the Abyssal Gatekeeper? I don't know. I can't remember. We have it, actually. So a 2-mana 1/1 horror. And when it dies, each player sacrifices a creature. Basically, a really crappy removal spell. Crappy Chainer's Edict. Pabno, thanks so much for your super chat. How about Flint Golem? Flint Golem is like, I have created fire. 4 mana for a 2/3 Golem. When it becomes blocked, defending player puts the top 3 cards of the library into their graveyard. When it becomes blocked, defending player puts the top 3 cards. I don't know how that's going to be such a disadvantage. It's pretty weak on overall, but yeah, I mean, don't block it. I mean, if you stacked your deck with Ponder or Brainstorm or Sensei's Divining Top, it's going straight to the graveyard. Okay, Copyright has no card yet. Let's go take a look at the Noble Benefactor. Risky for everyone. I don't know if we did this one. Okay, this is the last card. With 3 mana 2/2 Cleric, Noble Benefactor is put into any graveyard from play. Each player may search their library for any 1 card and put that card into their hand. Each player who searches their library this way, each player who searches their library shuffles it afterwards. This helps them, in my opinion. Everyone gets to tutor, so there's no telling that this actually works. I'm very generous. I don't think I'm. You guys are generous. You're the generous ones. All right. So in light of Copyright's fumble here, we'll give another one to Arrow. The Wrathful Red Dragoon. Very wrathful. Wrathful Red. Oops. There we go. 5 mana for a 5/5 flyer. Whenever a dragon you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dragon. Sweet. All right. Thanks, everyone, for showing up today. As usual, we do this 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We've been doing this for the past year. We shall continue going into the new year. Thanks, everyone who supports the show. Thank you very much, everyone who supports on Patreon, or if you're a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or, of course, super chat so other people are part of the show. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for being such a part of this channel, making what it is, because without this channel has been running on for years off of the lifeblood of all of you. People like Ferginka and Kano, Arrow, Benjamin Berkeley, Christopher B, Toads, Almond, Bob Talks Bridge, Steve Cooper, Dinglebag, we got Pabno, Benovsky, Richard, Reston Serpentine, because you are what makes the show run from now and also into 2025. So keep bringing them coffees, my coffee crew, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next year.